Judge, and I am co-director of social media for the Digital Youth Council. I'd like to thank Silicon Republic for having me here to speak today, because it sure does beat sitting through double chemistry on a Friday morning. I'm here to talk about the Digital Youth Council. So the Digital Youth Council is a collection of 12 of the leading young people in STEM and communications in Ireland. So we have some bloggers, some coders who represent the Coder Dojo movement, and then those whose background is more purely scientific, such as myself. It was established by Harry McCann. He's the managing director of Kid Tech Courses, and he just so happens to be 15 years old and received his junior cert results last Wednesday. And the aim of the council is to get first-hand opinions and views from Irish students on how digital technology can best be implemented in their learning experience, and then hopefully be able to influence policy makers and members of government. The council is supported by its advisory board, which is going to provide a means of communication between council members and members of government. And this is a really majorly important component, as it's essential to ensure that the voice of the council is heard, so that we can properly bridge the gap between the Irish student and the Irish government. And we also have many fantastic partners who are working with us to bring the initiative together. So just to name a few: RT Digital, Twitter, the Digital Hub, the Science Gallery. The concept for the Digital Youth Council was actually thought of at excited.ie. This was a digital learning festival which took place in Dublin Castle last May. A major part of the Learning Festival was workshops run with 5th and 6th class students, where they were allowed to give their opinions on how they'd like digital technology used in their classroom. I was actually involved in these workshops, and I was given the task of reporting the main findings back to a room of guests and other educators the following day of the festival. I just remember being in the room and being absolutely bowled over by the enthusiasm shown by these students to all things digital. The atmosphere inside the room was electric. Harry McCann, the founder, was also in the room at the time, and he noticed this similar energy and passion amongst the students. So he thought of the Digital Youth Council as a way to harness this potential and to give all these smaller, passionate voices one collective voice, almost screaming out for change. So what did those young people think? Here's an example of just one of the questions that the students were asked at that workshop at Excited, which was, how would you like digital content to be presented to you in school? The most popular answer was PowerPoint, and I think that's something really beneficial, because it just goes to show that these students are thinking of digital technology not only as a means of entertainment, but as a means of education and conducting business. Something else which came up was actually the use of digital applications, and I never thought of this before. Digital applications such as Google Earth and Google Maps. Now, I've got a funny story actually. I visited UCC to visit a zoology student, and I was supposed to be speaking to him about his work, but we actually spent the 3 hours that I was supposed to be in there talking about his work on Google Earth, looking up old ruins that he had found via Google Maps in the area. So instead of being educated on zoology, I actually got a very good history lesson on the area of Cork City and old buildings that he had found via Google Earth. So it just goes to show that Google Earth and Google Maps can actually be a really good teaching tool for both geography and history. They also suggested online games and e-readers and Kindles. One boy, when I was there, he said to me he wanted a Kindle for his school books so that his school bag would be less heavy. And you know, as a 5th-year secondary school student, I'm definitely inclined to agree with him. The Digital Youth Council has a few main objectives that we're going to try and fulfill in our first year. We want to be on the ground in secondary schools, getting from the horse's mouth opinions from students on how they want digital technology to be implemented and used to their advantage in the classroom. So we want to give all these passionate voices that we saw at Excited. We saw that the kids have something to say, and we want to give them somewhere to go where they can be listened to, and they know that any ideas that they have will be listened to, thought about, and brought further, so that they can actually influence the decisions which, at the end of the day, are going to be affecting themselves. We want to see what works, and what maybe needs to be changed. And by that I mean what needs to be changed and how we can change it. And just bridge the gap between the Irish student and the Irish government so that students feel that they actually have a stake and they have influence in the decisions that are going to be affecting them along the line. Another thing that we're really passionate about is encouraging involvements in all areas of STEM. So not only are we going to be organising initiatives to get young people involved in STEM, but we also hope that the Youth Council will serve as a group of role models that kids can look up to, that are actually, they're not off in the distance, they're tangible, they're contactable, so, they've got a definite marker that they can aspire to.